All right, 5 things that you need to know when you're gonna go look at a TJ. This goes for 97 to 06. One thing that you need to look at is rear main seal on a 4.0. The 4.0s are great motors. You can pretty much run them without oil, but rear seal may be leaking on a 4.0. Also listen for lifter ticks or anything like that. A lot of times you have no worries about lifter tick. They will tick. You can put some oil additives in it, it'll keep on kicking. Another thing that I would say that I missed when I bought mine is where the control arms, the factory control arms go. Right here would be a factory short arm. Well, behind that, water ends up puddling up and staying right in this area. So my frame had a little crack in it where water had come down in here and just puddled and stayed. So look behind, like right in this area, look back there on the frame so that you can see and make sure that you have no rust. Check for rust all over the vehicle. It's gonna have rust in the bottoms down here where dirt and water get inside the frame. You know, check up under the body, pull the carpet up, check that. You want to make sure that you don't buy one that's rusted up. One, your bolts won't come loose, and two, resale value drops when you do a rust vehicle, unless you get it really cheap and you're gonna cut it and do a moto built back half frame or something like that. But I would definitely check for rust. This goes for any Jeep. When you're going to look at buying one, you need to check your steering. Check your track bar, take a friend with you, have them wiggle the steering wheel, see if you've got slack on both sides. Check all your joints, make sure all that's tight, because if not, you'll have death wobble. And that could be a bargaining spot for you to maybe knock a few $100s off of it. When buying a Sport, a Sahara, anything like that, you need to try to get at least a Dana 44 in the rear end. The Saharas and Sports, some of the Saharas come with 44s, but I know the Sports and the X models come with 35s in the back. So the Dana 35 has a C-clamp. Once that C-clamp breaks, that whole axle is going to slide out. At least with the Dana 44, if you break a rear axle, it's bolted in, so it's not coming out. You can get back out of the trail, you can get back to your vehicle, or get a tow. So definitely try to get a Dana 44, unless you're, again, buying it cheap and you're going to cut and strip it down and put an 8.8, a 44, or if you're going to go 1 tons. I wouldn't worry too much about a 30. 30s are really good if you put, you know, a set of good gears, ring gear and pinion, and put a set of RCBs in it. Only thing you have to worry about if you go over a 35 is your seat gussets bending or something like that. Other than that, I see people wheel them. Now, they're not bouncing the rev limiter and jumping up stuff, but I see people wheel on 37s with 30s, but I wouldn't go over a 35 for sure on a 30. Number 5, and I think this is probably one of the biggest things that happens on a 4.0, is the manifold will crack. So definitely look at that, see if that's cracked, because it happens all the time, and that's a good expense. It's a good $400 or $500 depending on what manifold you buy. So I would definitely check on manifolds, check on rear main seals, check on lifter taps, pull dipstick, check your oil, check your trans fluid if you're buying an automatic. I would gear towards at least a 44 in the rear. I would steer away from 35s if you're going to wheel. And then you need to check your steering. You need to check that over, and for sure check rust. Make sure that you're not buying one that's rusted out and somebody has covered up with spray paint or something like that. So that is the 5 things that I would definitely look over and make sure that I'm covering on everything.